Hi, I'm Joan Cara. I'm a psychic and a medium for 30 years. I grew up watching my Aunt Josie read cards, but it was just a half a deck of playing cards, not tarot. It's less symbolic. And actually, these are the original cards before the tarot. I don't have much information on my cards, so it's more intuitive. And over the years, I even had to make up symbols that were not apropos for my aunt's time in the 50s and 60s and 70s. Example, I used the Ten of Clubs for career and job. To me, that's a business card. Everyone is afraid of the Ace of Spades, but actually, it could be travel and distance and change. Now, they get upset when it's upside down, but we have to realize a lot of things come to an end. It doesn't mean it's death. It could be the end of a cycle. And if it's next to me, the Ace of Clubs, which to me is the home card, example, right side up, I would say there's a change in your home. You may be thinking of moving. If they're both upside down, I get the impression there's an upsetment in your life. There could be a disappointment or even a passing. There's grief. Now, it's how you say things is important. You can't just be harsh about things. Everyone says, do you ever see bad news? And do you tell your clients? I say, I see stress, and I teach them how to cope with the stress. It's called life, and to cope with it is to have a positive way of thinking. Example, you don't have a job and you're looking. Why go to the fear that you're never going to have a job? You know that you could work. So how about it's so easy to create an opportunity for my career? And I always say, why don't you put in less labor and more money? Because sometimes we're working very long hours for very little, and even though you may be learning, but why not ask the universe to help you out? You know, things are expensive. My aunt always called this card the Lucky Jack. It's a little bit more difficult in this period of time when I pull out this card. It's, oh, you have a Lucky Jack. They're lucky for what? So I do find it doesn't always work, but I say, well, it's lucky for, it's next to the home card, or the job card, or love. So there's luck, a positive thingy. Now, whenever you do a reading, and my aunt would say, if a card fell while we're shuffling, what falls to the floor comes to the door. And this happens to be a Queen of Hearts. It could be the goddess energy, and it could be a helpful woman. And it's kind of funny because sometimes two cards fall. And to me, how about this? Let's see, with the two cards that fell, she always called this, the Nine of Hearts, the wish card. And to me, I don't know what my aunt's symbol was for this, but I use it as learning, teaching, progressing your skills, even negotiation. So you have a goal achieved about learning, a higher education, or maybe you're back in a training program. So what falls to the floor comes to the door. Now, she learned it from someone else, so you're going back decades and decades and decades of these old sayings. There's some other card. Oh, Ten of Spades. That's an interesting card to me. That's like a blockage. Now, sometimes we have to overcome things that are stalled or things that aren't happening the way we want. And then we have to work, of course, on coping and on really being positive about these frustrations and delays, which sometimes, believe it or not, work to your advantage. Sometimes there's a blessing because you didn't get a certain thing or a certain guy that you wanted. And later on, you may be saying, wow, I was better off without that job or without that guy. So blocks aren't always negative. It just means there's timing, which we really don't have control of. And I work with numerology to figure out the timing. But it's very interesting because I always say half cards will travel. I only use half a deck of cards, and I don't have to worry about having 10 tarot decks. And this is a tradition, a family tradition. Once again, I'm Joan Cara, psychicjoankara.net.